In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, while a wind moved upon the face of the waters. When God began to create the heavens and the earth was complete chaos, and darkness covered the face of the deep, and breath from God swept over the face of the waters. Tonight, we gather at the solstice, when the sun reaches its southernmost point in the sky, marking the shortest day and the longest night of the year. It's not that the earth is farther from the sun. It's that we, in the north, are tilted away from it for a while. There's a rhythm built into creation, just as the tides are built into the ocean and a heartbeat is set in your body. The push and pull of breath is the push and pull of life and creation. We are made in the image of God, so our lives must move from mountain to valley, from warmth to chill, from day into night. Now, while others race from store to store, from screen to screen, from light to light, we do something strange here and important. We relinquish the light and give ourselves over to the dark. There are many reasons to gather under the mothering wing of God. Your reasons are your own. They may live within you and only there. Your grief, your doubt, your loneliness. A story that belongs to you, and you alone decide when and how much to share. Your reasons may also be external. The smog of fear that smothers us and is weaponized to distract us. The shock and rage at the cruelty of our government and governments abroad. A lament of war, poverty, disaster, and injustice. And yet, even as that pain moves out about the world, it finds also harbor in our souls. There is a thread that weaves all of this together, all these reasons. They are all connected because we are all connected. So we come to this night and this dark to remember. We remember that every good thing is woven together in the depths of the earth. This is where we were made. We are born of chaos and darkness and breath. And though it is not easy, we know this to be holy, to hold fast and let the shadow fall, to resist the false light long enough to discover hope, and a hand next to us holding ours. Beloved, God is coming. God is here. God has been here all along. Will you join me in singing our simple song this morning, or this evening, Lead Me, Lord? What do you say, twice through? How you feel? Feeling brave? Okay, let's do it. Lead me, Lord, lead me in your righteousness. Make thy way plain before my face. For it is thou, Lord, thou, Lord, only, that makest me dwell in safety. Lead me, Lord, lead me in thy righteousness. Make thy way plain before my face. For it is thou, Lord, thou, Lord, only, that makest me dwell in safety. Will you join me in our responsive prayer? Holy Shepherd, gather your wayward flock again. Pull us away from our distractions and dodging, that we might discover you here, waiting for us to arrive. Where can I go from your Spirit, O Holy One? How can I flee from your presence? If I follow all the rules perfectly, you are there. If I run recklessly and lose my way, you are there. Steadying God, we come encumbered by burdens. Some we know already, and some we cannot even guess. It can be too much some days. We don't want to bother with any of it. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. Loving God, we are tired of running from our fears. We are exhausted by the effort of keeping it all together. Set a space here in your house for us to surrender it to you. We cry out in anguish, "O darkness, I give up. Let the light wrap its cold shade around me." Then the night becomes warm and bright day, and the black sparkles with revelation. Not even darkness is dark to you. Not even despair can overtake your promise, nor can death take away this life you give. God, you formed my body and my soul. You knit me together in my mother's womb. My frame was hidden from the world, but not from you. I was being made long before I ever arrived, woven intricately in the depths of the earth. Though understanding fails us, O Maker, we turn to you, and we are in awe at your mystery, at your wonderful works, those we remember and those yet to be revealed. I come to the end. I am still with you. hand that down. Thank you. In the beginning, there was void and chaos. Somehow nothing and everything at the same time. We have been taught to fear the dark, for night can hide things and shadows trick us. For children buried beneath rubble, for parents calling names that will not answer, for the dead, the maimed, the starving. We lament the cost of war. We rage against the ceasefires that don't hold and scorn those who profit off suffering and death. How long will power outweigh mercy? For the detection of something and the scan that confirms our fear. For the tests, appointments, and the inconvenience of it all. We lament the torment of serious illness. We cry out in pain and reach for the bucket and weep through a treatment that exacts its own cost and for the outcome that cannot be known or promised. How long will our healing be delayed? For the one who went too soon. For the one who went in a way they did not choose. And for the one who went at the end of a long life. We lament the dead and our grief. We hold this love with nowhere to go. And our life that must be lived, but damn, we still miss them. How long will this ache last? For families torn apart by violence and disaster. For children waiting at doors that will not open. For parents removed with no chance to say goodbye. We lament the unnecessary adversity of detention. We grieve homelands that are not safe and rail against cruelty disguised as policy. How long will the gates be shut? For neighbors who no longer speak. For leaders who trade lies for money and power. For citizens subject to fear turned into strategy. We lament a civic life shaped by anger and distrust. We yearn for an honest discussion and a disagreement that does not dehumanize. How long will it take us to find another way? For the long night alone, for the unanswered messages, for those without anyone to call. We lament our disconnection. We want to belong and be loved. How long must we wait without anyone who cares? For too much bad news and too many prayers unanswered, for too little rest for our soul. We lament our exhaustion and numbness. Still, we question, we doubt, we hope, we wonder. How long until daybreak? Meet us now, O God, not after things improve. Come here, O Jesus, in the midst of what is broken and undone. Stir us up, O Spirit, with your breath over the face of these waters. We do not fear the dark. We were made in the dark, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. God does not enter the night to unmake it, but to hold space for you to grieve what you must grieve, for what could have been and for what can no longer be. We do not pretend the world is unbroken. We name each fracture, every injury, and remember that it is not the whole of who we are. And just because we cannot know the path fully at night, it does not mean that it is not still laid before us. In the beginning, before hope was given a vessel, a word was spoken, and breath moved over the face of the deep waters. For it was you, O God, who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Beloved, you were knit together by God. Now, there are times when we will unravel. Our knots come undone, our edges fray. Sometimes we can pull things together, we can tighten up our laces, we can tie up those loose ends. Sometimes we need new threads to make a repair. Remember to remember, you were woven together by God, and every thread of you is holy. There is a thread woven into your bulletin. I invite you now to remove it, if you haven't already. I'd like you to tie it around your wrist. Let this string be a reminder of God's protection around you and God's presence ahead of you. May this string bind your wandering heart to thee and hold you fast to the path of wisdom. See, you're trying it and it's hard, right? This is not something you can do by yourself, for yourself. This is not something you can do on your own. You will need help. So let this string also remind you that you are not alone. There is always somebody ready to help you. All you have to do is ask. So I invite you now to find a neighbor to tie their wrist with the string so that they might tie a string around yours. Let us sing. Lead me, Lord, lead me in your righteousness. Make thy way plain before my face. For it is thou, Lord, only, that makest me dwell in safety. Lead me, Lord, lead me in thy righteousness. Make thy way plain before my face. For it is thou, Lord, only, that makest me dwell in safety. A poem by Sarah R. Speed in the time of Herod. I didn't live during Herod's time, that brutal, murderous king, God save his soul. But even hundreds of years later, I know the prayers of his people. I know the prayers of the mothers and the children under his rule. I know the prayers of the young men under his angry arm. I know their prayers because anyone who has lived in this soft world for more than 2 days knows how to pray for a miracle. We rub our hands together. We fold weary shoulders in a cage of bone to protect our bleeding hearts. We sing, "We shall overcome," and "Bind my wandering heart to thee." We walk across bridges and in front of powerful buildings. We cover our cars in stickers that scream, "We will not give up." We allow a hungry cry to slip from our lips, giving our lament a life of its own, with room to dance. And when all of that is said and done, we whisper to our Creator, "God, break through the yelling and the fear. Break through the violence and the oppression. Get past the Herods of this world and come be here." Like every bleeding heart before, we pray for a miracle. Will you join me in our closing responsive prayer? Strange and unknowable God, thank you for showing up in this world, for entering our lives with wisdom and compassion. Thank you for shaping our lives, for sending your Spirit over the face of the watery deep. Messiah and Emmanuel, thank you for waiting with us through this long night. We wait, even though it is frightening, even though it is confusing and we cannot be sure. We trust that you are searching for us. Do not let our distance turn into indifference, or our frustration turn into what we oppose. Break the bow and arrow, shatter the spear. Heal the sick and injured, bind up the brokenhearted. Release the captives from their detention. Bless the peacemakers. Be with us. Uphold us with your righteous hand. Lead us, O Holy One. Lead us by your righteousness. Lead us, O Holy One. Make your way plain. Thank you for this night, for being with us in our pain, for breaking into the world with good news for all people. Amen.